Hello and welcome to Kump.
Hello.
Hello, Lucie.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How you doing?
I'm well.
Yeah, this episode will not be sponsored by Nespresso machines. I don't think. I'm not sure who makes it. Is it Nestle who makes Nespresso? And therefore, but they license them out. So who makes the machines? I don't know. But we almost did harm to each other in different incidents.
We got really, both of us, on two separate occasions, each of us got angry.
In subsequent days.
Yeah.
I returned from a business trip where I was working with Eddie Murphy. You can hear more about that on our Patreon, patreon.com/RayCump, where you get, if you sign up, you get an extra episode every week. And while we're here, let's get out of the way. Subscribe to the show. We're over 10K. We're in the big leagues now, and we need to get to 20. And so we can get political power. Mm-hmm. If you want Kump to have political power in this coming administration, we need leverage.
If you want a Kump cabinet, that's how you make it happen.
I need to get my foot into the cabinet. And my picks into the cabinet. You may not be me. I may not be the comptroller of America. I may not be the mayor of Washington, D.C., but I can help pick them. But you need to subscribe so I can go to Don Nold or Don Jr. or son Barron. Is that Don Jr.'s son or is that Trump's son? Barron.
Barron's Trump's son.
So many sons.
Yeah, lots of sons.
Very blessed. He's a blessed man with so many sons, and or maybe even a Bobby Kennedy Jr. Type guy, and go, hey, look at my subscriber count. I want in. I want to tell you who to pick. And if you don't listen to me, at least if you don't give me a piece of the pie, we're gonna have problems. All right, my people are gonna mobilize, and you don't know where they're gonna go on Inauguration Day. You don't
know where they're gonna be, what window they'll be in.
You try. They're gonna try to crawl through.
Yeah.
They may or may not fit through that window.
What position would you want? More than anything.
More than anything, I'd love to be in charge of HUD. Yeah. HUD. I just love. It reminds me of that Paul. I'm not sure what HUD does. But I love that Paul Newman movie, HUD, when he was just a womanizing kind of deadbeat guy who worked on his dad's farm. And then all the cows got hoof and mouth disease. And spoiler alert, they had you had to do what happened when they got that. I don't want to spoil it.
Wait, so HUD? Because I've heard of HUD.
Yeah.
So HUD is just a movie about Paul Newman murking horses?
Not cows.
Or cows?
And it's not them. Like the FDA comes, or whoever, the agriculture department.
Just offing farm animal after farm animal?
It's a process. No, I don't think it's not. This is not like Tombstone where the fucking Wyatt Earp goes around with Doc Holliday and they gun down the cowboys. If I see a red sash, I kill the man wearing it. No, this is a thing where I forget exactly how they do it. They might use guns, but it's on a ranch. There's a procedure. It's not they're hunting them down. That would be a fun movie. It's just a thing that happens towards the end of the movie. And I guess I forget. It's been a while. It's black and white Paul Newman, back in the 50s, I think. And it might be the kind of thing where it taught him to stop banging other men's wives quite so much.
Right.
Hey, you're an adult, and you had to hoof and mouth cows to death or whatever it is. So stop banging my wife. It's one thing I wrote it off as just some kid, some young punk banging my wife. But now you're a man, so stop it, please. She likes it too much. It makes me sad. Imagine Paul Newman banging your wife. You're like, come on, please stop.
I would feel bad.
Please stop, dude. You can. Nothing to you. You can have anyone. Why mine? Unlucky. I mean, I guess you'd be lucky to have a woman. Like if Paul Newman was alive, he would. I would make sure he didn't touch you. He would. So you're kind of a lucky man to have such a wife.
That Paul Newman would want to.
Yeah, which I feel like I am. Yeah, but also, that luck cuts both ways. Paul Newman gets what he wants. But I would
at my expense.
Well, your expense.
Well, your expense.
My expense, yeah. Well, no, because it wouldn't happen. I would threaten them. I'd tell them what's up.
Yeah.
I have a line I'd say to them.
Oh, what is it?
We're past the part. I can say this now, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
6 minutes?
Yeah, who knows? I would say to Paul Newman, hey, Paul, don't bang my wife, because if you do, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to knock out your teeth and feed you my shit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a good threat.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's like, it's...
Nobody wants that to happen to them.
No, because you know what it implies, right? It implies that, like, he has to eat because, like, that's all he can eat now. You know? That it's like sour, we can't eat sour food.
Is that a scientific fact?
Well,
people can only survive on shit after they've had all their teeth knocked out.
No, quite the opposite of the idea of surviving. But my point is, like, he can't eat like a nice steak.
Right, but he could eat pudding or something.
Well, I mean, sure, but it's like, I feel like it's implied that I'm there, kind of making them.
Yeah. Well, sure. If you force them to only eat shit, then they would only be able to eat that. That's true.
I mean, look, like, look, it's like, well, now you gotta eat soft things. I got the perfect soft thing for you, but it's not like I'm going.
I got the perfect. The way you're describing this is like somehow after you've knocked all of his teeth out, which is very violent.
Yeah.
You've somehow regained his trust enough that you can basically sell him on eating your shit.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
I just want to know what you've done to regain his trust so immediately.
No, it's
after assaulting him.
It's implied that I'm like it's like, the feeding is kind of, at the very least, I'm keeping him in a place where he doesn't have any food, and that's all you get. I mean, that's the lowest, like the least it is. If not me, like, just spooning right into his gums, which is, I mean, this is to keep him from banging my wife.
Oh wait, this isn't even at once he's done it. This is preemptive.
Well, no, I mean, this is no.
I thought this was revenge, not.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I'm telling him, I'm gonna tell him this is what I'm describing is what is contained in the threat. Like, if you do this, I will do. If you do A, I'll do B.
Right.
Like a programmer.
Yeah.
I'm like a programmer. If then, if you bang Lucie, I do this. I feed you my shit after I knock out your teeth. So it's like, but I mean, so no, this is not preemptive. I don't know how that would be preemptive. Imagine if every crime could just be preemptive of something. I mean, it's like the Iraq War.
Yeah.
Do we have to mention that every episode? It happened so long ago. It's like over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It started over 20 years ago. Tell it to the kid with the lumps on his head, from all the depleted uranium or whatever. Not good.
No good.
So HUD. So I'd love to be the guy at HUD. Whatever that department does. Buys houses. I don't know. Gives people houses.
Gives people.
It seems nice. It's like housing. It's like
It takes the lead out of some houses and then puts it in other houses.
It's fine. It's a fine job for me. Yeah. Are they gonna? Is there someone more qualified than me in the administration to like test me? Because I don't care. I'll just do that and I'll decide the parameters. There's not like no one's. Like, that's the nice thing about that. There's no one there to be like, well, you're wrong. No, I'm in charge, right?
Yeah.
Cool. I don't care how it works. Put the lead here, put the lead there. Put all the lead in one house.
Yeah.
And then, like, I'll put signs up on the down low. Not officially, because that is sign's responsibility. But I'll go to that house at night. We're Paul Newman in my, I'm on the phone with Paul Newman threatening him. And I'll go to that house and hold on, Paul. And I'll be putting signs up like, stay away from this house. Don't buy it. It's got lead. Because I'm a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
that's good. That's actually a good. We can put all the lead in one house, put all the asbestos in another house.
Yeah, it's not like lead's radioactive, right? It's just like if you put it all in one big house, all the lead pipes and whatever, like it's not going to spread through the air. I don't. Maybe it will. Who cares? I mean, I'm only so good of a guy. Whatever. Speaking of the administration, I can keep it together somewhat, but sometimes it bleeds through. Split off. speaking of the administration, we have some interesting developments. I didn't, did I want Secretary of Defense? Did I pick HUD? Because, I mean, a lot of it's been picked already. Well, you asked me that. Is that really my dream job? I mean, I'm not dumb. I'm not a dumb guy. I'm not going to pick a bunch of things that have already been picked. You know?
You know what I would want?
What?
I would want to be?
Oh, yeah. I should have asked you, I guess.
It's not a full position.
Sure, go ahead.
But I wanted part of a position. I want to be the designated survivor. But only the designated survivor.
So you want that to become a new cabinet position?
Yeah.
I mean, because typically that's a person.
Usually there's like somebody in the cabinet is a designated survivor.
And they pick that, every state of the union or whatever, they pick that person, like one person.
Yeah.
To stay behind. And you would think it'd be an important person, but it never is. You know? What's weird is that, remember how like...
it's agriculture or something.
It's always something like that. Or HUD, maybe.
Yeah.
Remember how like the day of 9/11, another thing we never bring up, they were saying how Tom Clancy wrote this actually in some version. Mm-hmm. That book, The Sum of All Fears, in which like basically someone crashes a plane into the Congress building during the State of the Union, I believe, and kills everybody. And Jack Ryan, the guy like Harrison Ford or Alec Baldwin, in the movies, or Jim from The Office.
All right.
Nuclear Venezuela.
Jim from The Office, who's now a CIA asset, I guess.
Right. Oh, no, right. CIA, he becomes the head of the CIA at some point. Spoiler alert.
I just mean the real person, like John Krasinski.
Right, yeah. What's funny to think is that, like, was he that also when he was Jim? Right. Was he already a CIA asset?
Was he already being groomed?
Well, I mean, was that part of the plan?
Maybe.
Just keep people focused on that and not, like, Mosul, Hey, where are the weapons? I don't know. But I know where that stapler is and a thing of Jell-O. Anyway.
Yeah, him, like, torturing Dwight is kind of like it's a stand-in for us, like, fucking with other countries.
Sure.
Leadership.
Metaphors.
Metaphors upon metaphors.
But the thing is, like, if you read because I know this from reading the back of the next book, Executive Decisions, or whatever. He's the president, so you would think, oh, somehow he was a cabinet guy, he was the last guy, and like he was designated survivor or whatever, and became president. But it's just he became vice president at the last second. So what's the point of killing everyone? Like, you killed everyone in the whole system, but you're already vice president. You could just kill the president in that scenario.
Yeah.
It was towards the end of Tom Clancy. I've been rereading Hunt for October. That's a good one. Anyway. But you want to be designated survivor.
Yeah. And I'm just going to...
But not have any other role.
Right. And I'm just going to make a career out of it.
It's interesting.
I'm going to make like a little like survival room for myself with lots of weapons and I'll have ninja stars and stuff. So, and I stay awake all the time. I never sleep.
Wow. First of all, this sounds like an awful idea on every level. Like, if you do have to get in the power, you'll just be sleep deprived and like have weapons and be violent. Also, I know that like the agricultural head guy isn't really the guy we want for president, but the idea, I think, is that he's an important enough person that like he could be. He's in the line of succession, but you somehow are just a person who's just like qualified for no reason, and is just gonna if everyone dies. I'm
qualified to rebuild.
Do you have any credentials, ma'am?
I get along with people really well. I could probably find a lot of qualified people.
That actually isn't a bad idea. I mean, I don't think you're qualified at all for this position, but to have someone who would be the designated survivor, whose job it is to be like someone from the military, perhaps, someone who'd be a good wartime president,
right?
Someone who'd be good at like who specializes, who's like kind of trained in rebuilding, like you said, planning, infrastructure.
Yeah. Also, just ruthless. Will take life at the drop of the hat.
He should be elected directly, perhaps. Like, it should be a thing you can run for. And it's a thing where you don't even have to show up. It's actually better if you're not in Washington.
Right.
But like who is this term designated? And it could be like it could be that guy Jocko Willenick, the Navy SEAL podcaster, or that
David Goggins.
David Goggins.
Is it
Walton?
No, well, he would be good too.
Well, Goggins from the Shield
David
and
Goggins.
Vice. And, who's David Goggins?
He's the guy who, like, he's like a hard. I think he's also he's like a Marine or something.
There's a lot of ex-military killers who now podcast.
Yeah,
and I think that's great. And so they'll probably end up being the ones. Maybe Joe Rogan could be at one term.
Sure.
So like, it's just like, oh, like everyone just, and then you wouldn't have to have this the idea that we're under attack and now, like, Health and Human Services Director. Well, in this case, it'd be Bobby Kennedy, so that might not be that bad. It'd be good to be led by Kennedy again. But
yeah, bring back Camelot. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Camelot 2.0. We're fighting North Korea. I like this idea.
So what if the brain is a little holy from worms?
He's already killed the worms. He's overcome worms, so he can overcome President Xi of China or whoever we're fighting. Probably China. I mean, the idea of the HUD secretary having to fight China just seems like a crazy idea. I'd rather have Joe Rogan there, or even Jake Paul. I mean, he was able to fight a 60-year-old Mike Tyson. Do you see that? Did you see that glorified bum fight?
I saw a few, clips from it. Yeah, it's pretty boring.
I mean, the guy who made bum fights was vilified, but Jake Paul is somehow a hero for not even beating up a 60-year-old man. Just
right.
Just not just kind of dancing around. Neither one's really hitting each other. A couple hits got thrown. I mean, Mike Tyson did well. He got a bunch of money, I'm sure. Right. I don't blame him.
Oh, for sure.
It's probably like, this kid can't touch me.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like I remember who was it again who fought Mayweather a while back?
Bob Costas.
But he was like
McGregor.
Right, McGregor.
He was a fight, yeah.
He was older too, but he
wasn't older.
But it seemed more like he had been staying.
Who, Mayweather?
Up with it. Yeah.
No, like a couple. He retired like a couple years earlier or something. No, he was like 40.
Yeah, well, the point being, it definitely didn't seem like the same thing.
No, but Michael also didn't seem in danger.
Right. Yeah.
Like it's like whatever.
Yeah.
It's just an embarrassment for our country. But when's that not the case anymore? You dance with the devil, your pants get full of piss.
You're hot today.
Yeah. When you dance with the devil, your pants get full of piss. Ray Kump, 2024.
We didn't talk about. We need to finish this Espresso conversation because these things are a danger to people.
Yes. How did we get off of it?
I don't know.
So I was traveling, and I had in my hotel rooms these Espresso machines, and they're very small, and the coffee is like it's like espresso. Like we've had a Keurig for years, it's fine, but these espressos are just very they're not expensive.
You do this often. You find little luxuries on the road, and you bring them home with you.
Yeah,
it's lovely.
Yeah, and I want to splurge for my wife, so she doesn't end up leaving me for Paul Newman. And so we get these things, and these things are like espresso instead of coffee. And I don't know how the caffeine works, but I drank a couple or 2 or 3 yesterday, and I started losing my mind.
Yeah.
If you notice the lighting, you probably don't notice it, but the lighting's slightly different right now because I threw a bunch of plastic lids at the wall, and I broke my my colored background light. And you
and I did the same thing. I was banging on my desk.
You broke something?
Like a dictator.
Yeah.
And I was like...
You're like Khrushchev.
But it's these things. I mean, this is awful. They should see if there's a link.
We'll get used to it.
Between, Nespresso machines and deaths from domestic violence.
September 11th attacks.
And terrorism, yeah.
I mean, I think we'll get you. I think we just have to ride. It's like a rodeo ride. You have to ride the bull. Oh man. Speaking of, we'll keep. This will be a segment we do. Like, are we used to Espresso yet? I don't want to come off weak in the comment. People in the comment. Hey, I drink that shit every day. You guys are just, we'll get used to it. We'll get used to having the moisture sucked out of our brains. But speaking of the cabinet, there's been a lot of picks. Like I mentioned, you got Bobby Kennedy as a pick for Health and Human Services, right? You got the Marco Rubio is
right.
the State Department, Secretary of State.
Yeah.
That should be fun. The Secretary of Defense is a really qualified guy from the Pentagon. No, the private sector, like defense. Fox News. Right, Fox News. Which look, I mean, he was in the National Guard. So that's it.
Sure.
I don't know what these guys usually have, to be honest. I know the qualifications shouldn't be guy on Fox News. I'm not sure beyond being like a politician what a lot of these guys have though. Like, is that worse than like Rumsfeld, who was just like a crony? Like Rumsfeld knew about the military, but only because he was like planning to use it to like fight some kind of shadow war that ended up becoming like a quagmire.
Right.
But we're light and fast.
There's got to be something. There's got to be something in between.
Right.
You know,
70-year-old
National Guard, former National Guard, and just
news host
and an architect of destruction worldwide.
Yeah.
Like there's got to be something in the middle there.
Rumsfeld was like, we're gonna be light and fast and mobile. It's gonna take 20 years. And this guy's like on Fox and Friends or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Like I remember because I was reading a couple of things. Apparently there was some controversy where maybe he paid off some woman he fucked at Fox News. But it's just like, to me, it's almost like burying the lead. You know? Like,
yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay. It's like, okay.
Right.
That's what happened at Fox News.
Well, let's see. Should we read some? Let's see. Let's see if it's even a credible source, because this could be just trying to bring a great man down.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have this article, Trump's pick for defense, something like I can't read it now because I brought this up. But Fox News host Pete Hegseth, it's just bigger. I need new eyes. Can we get an eye transplant up in here? I mean, what we have flying cars, no flying cars, and no new eyes. Give me a sheep's eye.
You should be able to get a purple eye, anything that you want.
Well, it's about seeing, not about what they look like.
Yeah, but they should be able to make them look cool too.
I'm not the guy from Last Action Hero, Charles Dance. I'm not like, look at my cool weird eye. No, I just want to I want to see further.
I would love it. I would love for you to have just glowing red eyes.
What, so is it Paul Newman have that one? Is that what it is? Enough. Fox News host Pete Hegseth, good name, President-elect Trump's pick to serve as defense secretary, paid a confidential financial statement to a woman who accused him of sexual assault out of concern that the allegation would lead to his firing from the cable news giant, his lawyer told CBS News. I mean, honestly, in this day and age, he probably didn't have the best night, at the very least. Like, these things, people pay people off. It's not always, a sign that you definitely did it.
Yeah, that's true.
But, to be clear, he very well could have done it.
Yeah.
Let's not, but I'm just saying, but it is possible in this day and age. Like, you got a little rough, maybe did a little Army Hammer or try to eat her, earlobe or something.
Told her you were a cannibal.
Yeah, right. Yeah, mixed signals or whatever.
Said you wanted to feed her your shit.
Yeah. Well, I would never do it to a woman. Point is, sometimes it makes sense to pay somebody. But, we don't know. We don't, I think the allegation is strong enough that I don't have to make a decision, right? I don't have to fall. Oh, he definitely did or didn't. It doesn't matter what I say. It's he's being accused. Hegseth's attorney said the Army veteran reached a confidential settlement agreement to deter his accuser from going forward with a lawsuit, maintaining that he's innocent. You shouldn't be allowed to do this. Because this is why. You should be, if you're going to sue someone, people get mad at me, but if you're going to sue someone, it's kind of like when you pay their legal fees, like you lose your job.
Yeah.
If you don't win the case.
Right.
Which just means that it's awful. It can't work. To be clear, that can't work. But but it gets so messy when it's like, well, he paid her off. Well, that doesn't mean he did it.
Yeah.
Maybe we have to make sure it should, though. You can't, one thing, in a free society, it just doesn't look great. Because now anyone can do it. So enough people have paid people hush money that now it's just like, yeah, hope like you just clearly like hurt somebody or molest somebody and give them a bunch of money and go, well, I didn't pay. I just paid to keep, because I was afraid of losing my job at the wedding cake bakery that I work at. People who get wedding cakes are very sensitive to this kind of thing, and I just didn't need the hassle. And I'm very wealthy from making all these wedding cakes. I don't even own the place, but I'm just in such high demand because I put a bunch of. I do like Lord of the Rings cakes.
Oh,
people love that.
That's nice. I would love a Lord of the Rings cake.
You ask for that at the wedding.
Well, not for a wedding.
Well, that's what I don't do anything else.
Yeah.
You better, if I find out you're doing this and then not having what you're doing for a bar mitzvah, you just showing up on some sweet 16 cake, you know what I'm going to do. You know what I'm going to do. And it has to be your husband. If it's, you know what I mean? I'm not going to do it to a woman. But you know what's happening. Different kind of cake. So, but what's he...
The reality is that had they filed a lawsuit, a civil process takes quite a while. And so Fox News likely would have fired him based on the allegation, said the lawyer, adding that the woman and her attorney knew that simply filing it would cause an immediate horror storm for Hexeth.
Well, little do they know that it was not that big a deal for the defense secretary. No, is this hurting his chances? I'm not sure yet. We don't know.
I've never heard the term horror storm.
Get ready for a horror storm. I mean, do you think they were when Ray Kump threatened Paul Newman knocking his teeth out? He knew it would be a horror storm for the 106-year-old man. He threatened the man who made charity salad dressing and race cars for a living.
Fox News did not blah, blah, blah. Trump's transition team spoke with the lawyer after Hegseth was named as Trump's nominee defense secretary, and the attorney said he said that he explained this fully to them, but that they did not know what prior conversation Hegseth had with the transition team or if they had been informed about the sexual assault allegation. I mean,
interesting. It should have nothing to do with the confirmation process, he said. Who said this? Trump? Hegseth? Look at that face.
I think his lawyer said that, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, his lawyer should undo the transition process. Well, who are you? Or is his lawyer Donald Trump?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Stay in your lane, lawyer.
Apparently, there is something that came out about Matt Gaetz, too, I guess. Or maybe.
Well, years ago. But you mean beyond the human trafficking allegations?
Beyond that, yeah.
Oh, wow. Matt Gaetz, who's was the Attorney General, has been accused of human trafficking. But yeah, to be fair, it's what is this? Lawyer tells ABC News his two clients told House committee that Gaetz paid them for sex. Or who is his clients young?
17. It's
not great.
One of them is 17.
I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah,
and I won't be that guy. Sometimes it's never okay to pay, I guess. It's just not great that even if you told me somehow they're legal, it's just really not great if you're applying for the AG job or really any job for this to come out in the process.
It really would only make it slightly better if he had paid some MILF to have sex with them. So,
I think it would be a lot better.
I mean, it would
given the other allegations,
yeah.
Given the other things that have been coming up.
Yeah.
If it was like, Your Honor, clearly she's a MILF. I mean, I guess he's not in court. He's like, look at those big hooters, and she's a BBW MILF. That's got to be so much better.
This is a great advice to anybody going into politics. If you're gonna have a sex scandal, have it with a MILF. I know the only reason people go into politics is to have, at the very least, push the envelope of how close you can get to legal. Or not legal. I don't know. It seems like the sheer motivation to be a politician is to wet your whistle in the forbidden waters of the Fountain of Youth or whatever. But yeah, I would advise, I'm a bit more like of a conservative
financial advisor and political advisor. I say stocks and I say bonds are a safe bet, and I say BBWs and MILF BBWs. Just stay above reproach. That's how, as a politician, you stay above reproach. It's not about not cheating on your wife. It's not about caring about your family. It's like, Your Honor, clearly I pay for sex, but look how thick she is. She's clearly been around the block a couple of times.
She's got hair down there. It's very womanly.
I don't love it, but that's the sacrifice I make. I'm a good man. What we got here? We got more.
See, an attorney representing two women who testified before the House Ethics Committee told ABC News in an interview that Matt Gaetz paid both his adult clients for sex.
That's good. Say adult, whether they're or not. It's good. It's a good lawyer move.
Florida attorney Joel Leopard told ABC News' Juju Chang that one of his clients also witnessed Gaetz having sex with a third woman who was then 17 years old at a house party in Florida. She testified that in July of 2017 at this house party, she's walking out of the pool area. She looked to her right and saw Representative Gaetz having sex with her friend who is 17.
All right, look.
Honestly, I don't like the idea of any politician even having a pool party. I want serious people in there.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can have the pool, but you're having drinks around the pool.
Right.
Were you jumping in the pool and having sex?
Yeah, the pools should basically be decoration.
What is this, like an X-Men Days of Future Past reunion party?
Yeah.
Bryan Singer made that film.
Oh.
I'm just saying, pool party. That's very Hollywood. I think pools in DC are really for just standing around discussing, contracts, missile contracts.
Yeah.
How many years of missiles do I get? Whatever. If how do we give Israel more missiles or whoever? Usually it's Israel. Here's your missiles. That's the kind of thing pools are for in DC. Look, we don't know if he did it or not. We don't know if it's baseless. We don't know. I mean, it doesn't look good. But here's what I don't get. How this is messy. At least you can admit that. And I can't get HUD. You tell me I can't get HUD with all this. I got no baggage. Minimal baggage. I've said things. I've threatened Paul Newman in this very episode, but he's dead. He's been dead for years. I mean, sure, the idea of me doing it to Paul Newman, but you understand it's only if he was as his HUD character, banging my wife. This makes me love my wife. That means I love my wife. I'm a good man.
Look, if this is going to happen all the time, because obviously there's incentive to get these stories out there now.
Yeah.
It creates maybe like a public, but maybe it prevents them from getting appointed.
Sure. We'll see.
But also maybe they did it. It's like, but
right.
it's
I do. Yeah.
So it's complicated.
Yeah.
You don't want to just buy everything that you read ahead of somebody getting appointed.
Much less my Facebook status. It's complicated.
You fuck. This is why I go to Paul.
Oh God.
I
get so mad thinking about his old skin on you.
At this point, there's so many sex scandals out there.
Sure.
Chastity, the value of chastity has been making a comeback recently.
I mean,
what if we just required all of our politicians to be virgins?
Well, I mean, how would you know a man's a virgin?
I don't know. Is there a hymen in the pussy?
We have to inject you with a hymen.
Yeah.
I mean, what is that thing that Christian kids say, like a virgin again or whatever?
Born again virgin.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to, I mean, that's the thing. If you, because didn't the Ottoman Empire have like a Brahmin class or some shit? Was it Indian? I don't know. A class of people who became politicians. Now they did it based on birth, perhaps, but point if you when you're 18, if you think I want to get into politics, all right, we're gonna inject this into your dick and asshole,
right?
And so it's a man. If we can split the atom, we can make a hymen for a man, right? And then get to see if you do sex.
Look, I do like the idea of inventing a male hymen.
Yeah.
But I was thinking more just like, then if anything ever happens, it doesn't matter if it was consensual or not. You know, if you've ever...
If they were raped?
If you ever had...
What if the politician was raped? Wow, you've got 180.
Look, I don't want to sound callous.
Sure,
but, you know,
do. Just to be clear, you do. You're very callous. But go on.
But you know, not everybody gets to be in the big show. Like,
right,
this is
rape
not,
victims.
Yeah.
Sure. No, I get it. It's like, look, life's tough. Life's a bitch.
Yeah.
Don't get raped. Lucie Steiner, 2024.
I'm like, you may one day be the designated survivor. Act like it, you know. Get some weapons.
Don't dress like that. What were you doing dressed like that? Don't you want to be dressed designated survivor one day? Jeez, Lucie. I don't know. It's like I think people appreciate that. You know, Lucie's not one-dimensional politically. You know, you thought you didn't think she'd say these things, but you know, you're not married to her. I am.
Yeah.
So piss off. You don't understand Paul Newman. She's a multicolored flower. I get where you're going with this, though. It's like, you know, it's not every... We've tried for years now to make... what's the term people like to talk about? Equity of outcomes. And not to sound like Jordan Peterson, the learned man. Yeah. The great learned man with his wonderful suits. But, I mean, it is a hard thing to enforce. And I think a lot of times, just like everything else the government does. Yeah. You end up getting a lot of unforeseen outcomes and consequences of policies. Right. And so by trying to listen to rape victims, sometimes we just, you know, we just get like a lot of noise. So yeah, I mean, just
I just don't want politicians having any fun.
Yeah, I agree.
I just want them. If you want this power, you've got to live a fucking barren.
At the very least, I see where you're going with this. I don't know if it's plausible, but at the very least, I think there should be less of a difference between what we tell children politicians are and what they are. Oh, for sure. We need to modify the narrative a bit. Like, you know, democracy works because there's a type of person, women are also very nasty. A type of person who's just an unrelenting sociopath who just seeks carnal pleasure and violence and personal gain. And much like, you know, and them seeking their own interest, kind of like bugs creating fermentation. Is that how fermentation works? I don't know. Aren't there some bugs who they eat something and then it lets off ammonia? Oh, maybe. There's something like that. Or the honey, the way bees make honey. You know, with the
I'm
saliva.
not some crunchy granola nature girl. Right. Okay, I'm not sure.
much like bee saliva creating honey, the politician trying to get that tight, young, legal sex ends up creating democracy. You know, that's just the wonder of this dystopia that we live in. And so
it's nature. It's yin nature. And yang.
Yeah, it's not. No one came up with this except the worst people in the world. So don't worry about it. It just happened. Yeah, so that's the problem. You think they're like, you know, the noble men who sacrifice, and it's just like they just can't come without like the worst things happening all the time. I mean, I guess it's a curse. Yeah. So yeah, you know, so the best plan is, you know, so take away their need to, you know, quote unquote come. Yeah. But plan B is just tell kids that's what they're doing.
Oh shit! Well, I have a solution to the whole rape victim thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the solution. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Look, castration.
Wait, that's been done. I believe the eunuchs, right? And then were the janissaries castrated? I forget. Those are the ones that the Ottomans would use. I did Brahmin before. It was janissaries. Yeah, they would take people who weren't like, they were like the people they conquered or whatever, and they would take their kids away, and I think they would castrate them. Which just seems like, you know, and then like that, and now you lead us.
We used to be more okay with doing horrible things to people. to ensure their
Yeah.
purity.
Well, you get to be in charge, kind of. I don't think they were like the king, but they'd be like, they'd be the HUD secretary.
Right, yeah.
They'd
No,
be
that's, castration is a very good thing for, like, senators.
I do think...
People who want to be senators.
I think being HUD secretary is worth never coming. It just seems like a good trade-off.
Yeah. You can make a difference.
Yeah. Look, I've never known the touch of a woman, but I decide who gets a loan. I'm not sure anymore. I don't know what this is.
Somebody out there must be willing to make that trade-off.
I got kidnapped when I was like 5 years old, and so I don't know what's going on.
Honestly, I'm almost willing to give it to anyone who's willing to make that trade-off. Like maybe.
Yeah. Look,
you still gotta get voted in, but
I'm trying to think. I mean, it's an interesting idea.
That level of passion.
I don't know. The idea. Well, I mean, have you ever seen? I mean, my biggest exposure to quote unquote asexual people is that BoJack Horseman show. And I found it very obnoxious.
Like the show itself, or people who like it.
No, well, I mean, perhaps both.
Yeah.
But yeah, the show. But the whole concept I found very obnoxious. I'm not sure I want those people leading me.
Oh, yeah.
But it's an interesting thought. I mean, I do think we should not just qualify it with people who are willing to castrate themselves. I think we should have a couple more qualifications at least. But yeah, but it's a good start. Do we make maybe we can make a digital hymen?
Digital. Like oh man, that's a digital hymen.
Speaking of such, this is interesting. So speaking of bodies, this Mr. Nick Fuentes here. So he's he had a whole thing about bodies on you've gotten onto X lately. You don't post, but you read.
Yeah.
What's the word?
Maybe I'll share my handle, at some point, but not for now. For now, I'm just checking out the landscape, seeing if this is a world I can live in.
Paul Newman's rape blamer, whatever. Newman Zone. It's just Newman Zone 666. So I guess he made some kind of little quip. Your body, my choice.
And see, I would agree with that if he was talking about senators,
sure,
people in Congress,
right? Yeah, he's basically you stealing his idea.
Yeah, kind of reappropriating it.
Yeah,
improving on it.
And people got so mad about this, which he's a troll. So I mean, the idea to get mad at a troll just seems like whatever. Someone doxed him and they went to his house.
Yeah, I guess a few people went to his house, but he ended up pepper spraying this middle-aged woman who went to his door. Yeah.
I'm gonna put it. I'm never for this.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you do whatever you want to do. I'm not gonna get involved. But I mean, it's never like a good for society when we're going and like, hey, you tweet something and I'm gonna show up at your house and what? I don't know what.
Yeah.
But it's immediately a threat. And I'm surprised that all she got was pepper. Well, I'm not surprised either way, but you shouldn't be surprised if you're the person if you get pepper sprayed or worse.
Yeah, like some of these people have guns.
A lot of them claim to have guns.
Yeah,
I mean, they might be dorks and pussies, but I mean, they claim to like be stand your ground gun people. They say they want to shoot people all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Right.
I mean, do what you want, I guess.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I definitely don't feel bad. Like people were debating whether it was technically like legal for him to pepper spray her, but I think like in context, yeah, you got doxxed. I think you're allowed to assume that somebody who's a random person coming to your door who's mad at you might hurt you.
There's a slogan by cops, I believe. I'm not cops. I'm not betraying the trust of cops, but it was something like better. I mean, I think everyone knows that. It's better. Was it better to be judged by 12 than carried by 6?
Yeah. Not
quite applicable here, but it's better to pepper spray a fat woman than not do it. Something like that. I mean, was she fat? Who knows? But I'm gonna call you fat. If you show up at someone's house over an online comment, I'm gonna call you fat.
If she's hot, maybe hold back. Young,
no, if it was Margot Robbie, I'm sorry, Margot.
Yeah. I'm
sorry. I'm very sorry.
You're going to jail. You're going to get executed.
No, she's not. I'll break her out. Sweet Margot Robbie.
Him.
Oh, yeah. There
was actually a point at which, like, one thing that was kind of funny, it's dark, but like one thing that was kind of funny was that like people were going like, this is the way, they were like showing her picture in order to defend him.
Yeah.
They were showing her picture and being like, this is the woman. Like they were clearly just being like,
oh, she ugly?
You see, she's ugly.
Oh yeah, I just
You
assume
don't have
she's
to care
ugly.
about this.
I was just guessing. But yeah, she's ugly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No one hot does this.
Nobody hot participates in a doxing.
Yeah.
Like that.
Right.
Physically.
Yeah.
Like that.
They're getting doxed all the time by by dick. Big dicks. I'm gonna dox them. Right to Pleasure Town.
Pleasure Town.
Just castrate me. Look at me, HUD secretary, please. I just want a HUD.
Look, one way to normalize this,
Yeah.
because I do want this to take off,
Sure.
is for just people. We don't need it written into the law immediately.
Right.
People could just start making this promise to the American people.
Yeah.
You know, if you elect me, I will castrate.
Right, yeah. No, it's a make it a promise ring.
Yeah,
A
exactly.
castration promise ring.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm all for this. I just think, look, it's not even a moral stance anymore. It's just sometimes, look, people who promote purity are usually they're usually corrupt, the worst people, scummy, rapists. Yeah, I don't trust anyone.
Obsessed with sex, kind of deep down. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no,
Yeah.
and up top, and
Yeah.
they whatever, and they're getting caught all the time. I don't trust anyone for a second. That being said, there is some truth to the idea of this heat. And do we have a hedonistic culture? Yeah, not everyone's. I mean, I think a lot of young people aren't having sex at all. A lot of young people aren't having sex. This
Right.
generation is just very not sexual anyway. So I think this can catch on
It's
with them.
simultaneously super porn brained,
Yes.
but also,
Asexual.
Asexual. Yeah.
It's so much. It's just a loaded, weird time for young people. We're like on the cusp of it. Like we got some of that growing up. Like we kind of straddle generations a bit.
We got it. I think between the two of us,
Some people
averaging
accuse
out-
me of not straddling the generation at all. I'm kind of Gen Z. No. But you know what I'm saying. I'm young enough that I understand.
Hey, us Zoomers, we just know what's going on. But I feel like I got just enough internet porn.
Sure.
That I'm not lame. I know what's up.
Right.
But-
we know what the bang bus is.
Yeah, but
All right. Don't get it twisted.
But just little enough that I'm not like a complete freak as a result of it.
Yeah. I it's almost like that thing I survived a shark attack.
Right.
But that definitely bit me a bunch of times.
Right.
for sometimes for over a day.
Yeah. We've both got like a stump.
Sometimes I've gotten 12-hour shark bites. It's crazy. It's crazy I'm alive. It's crazy how sometimes an Adderall makes a shark bite you. Anyway. Moving on. Right? There's this speaking of hot people, I guess. This is my transition day. Oh, I guess it's a loaded statement. I'm just doing transitions. We have this other story. Go back. This is Rachel Zegler. We saw her in some movie, didn't we? You told me she was in something we watched.
Oh, she was in. You agreed gallantly to see the Hunger Games movie with me.
Right, she was, yes.
The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes.
Which I wasn't super into.
Yeah.
But yeah, whatever. Don't have to be. I'm married. That's why Paul Newman. That's the thing. You think Paul Newman's gonna take you to the Ballads of Songs and Snakes?
Probably not.
No, he's gonna be like, get bricks, bitch. I got mines. And it might be worth it because Paul Newman, but he's dead, so it doesn't matter. But the point is, I took you to the Ballad of Song Snakes, and with Rachel Zegler. But she's also famous for being an obnoxious Snow White in recent memory. People got very mad at her because she was Snow White, and she's saying, women, Disney women, something. And people got very mad. And she does even look really annoying.
I mean, look, actresses really just don't have any sense of like timing or when you're supposed to say these things.
Sure.
Like, you know, after the fact, like after the movie bombs or something, it's kind of charming to go out there and be like, I don't know, does anyone really like Snow White anymore anyway? But to say it while you're promoting it, who gives a shit about this Snow White bitch?
Oh, she said that?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Got more or less. You know?
Oh, okay. I thought you were just saying.
In my opinion, she told the truth. Snow White, like, it's a beautiful movie. It was groundbreaking, obviously.
The fact that.
But nobody really loves Snow White.
No, as much as I can agree she's obnoxious, these, like, guys, like, you know, these what's the guy, like, Nerd Rock, one of these guys, she's talking about Disney properties. What are you? What are you? Who gives a shit if she's shit talking Snow White, you fucking creeps? Right? I mean, yeah, like, she's annoying. And what are you? What are you?
Right. Yeah. Like, Zoomer girls are into, like, you know, they like Belle. They like Mulan.
Yeah. I think they're just happy. So, to be fair, even though I find these guys annoying, I think they're happy because they're still bitter that Star Wars got ruined. And it did.
Yeah.
They ruined Star Wars. Kathleen Kennedy's real dog shit. Of a
oh yeah, horrible
person. Yeah, she should agree to castrate herself if she wants to keep making these dumb movies.
Yeah.
But these guys get, that's a weird thing about our time. They get very invested in like in the business then, and like they want the company to lose money, so like they end up having to care about Snow White. I refuse to care about Snow White. Like I'm not gonna. You know what I'm saying? Like because of that, they play the game. This is like a sex thing. I mean, it's not sex, but I'm saying it's the same way. It permeates everything.
Yeah. It's
like, you know, in order to bang Paul Newman, you have to end up like, you know, doing some kind of, you know, ride some mechanical bull. I'm not gonna ride it. All right, I make my own sexual decisions. Not Paul Newman. So what'd she do now?
Actress Rachel Zegler, who plays Snow White in Disney's upcoming live adaptation, apologized Thursday for comments she made after Donald Trump was named president-elect.
She just can't shut her mouth, can she? She's a very mouthy woman.
Yeah, like just don't do this. Yeah. I mean, at this point, you've gone too far. These people are never gonna like you. Don't apologize to them.
Oh yeah, don't apologize. Like, oh yeah, but also like just stop making the most typical fucking statements. Yeah. I would not expect Rachel Zegler to like Trump. But find a more eloquent way to like, or just don't. No one cares. You're like, you know, you're part of the system. You're in a shitty Hunger Games prequel.
Right.
You're the reboot of Snow White. You're not bucking the trend, sister.
Right.
You're not part of the outside.
Nobody wants you to be the voice of rebellion against these things.
Right. Because you're literally not.
Yeah.
You're the voice of corporate fucking dog shit.
Saying she let her emotions get the best of her after conservative media personality Megyn Kelly called for Disney to fire Zegler over them.
I mean, again, this is fire. I think it's just like I can't stand the Zegler, but also like you have to fire like rats.
Yeah.
Who are these rats?
It is rat shit.
Fucking stop. Yeah. You know, doxing and fucking firing. Everyone's a fucking rat but us. All we want you to do is cut off your cock or shove a fucking stint in there, you know? Seal up your asshole with fucking stitches, whatever. However, honestly, there's a lot of ways to castrate yourself, and we're open-minded about them. But all we want you to do is do that, and then you can lead us into the 22nd century. We'll start the 22nd century early, because this one's not going great.
Zegler took to Instagram after Trump was elected over Vice President Kamala Harris and said the election left her speechless and heartbroken, and that she hoped Trump supporters and Trump voters and Trump himself may never know peace. Kelly went after Zegler for the comments on her Sirius XM show Thursday, calling Zegler a pig.
It's just very funny calling a woman a pig.
Yeah. Honestly, a woman calling another woman a pig is kind of funny.
It is just subjectively funny, yeah.
Saying there was something wrong with this person and that Disney should redo their film and Zegler should be fired.
Like, who's the guy in charge of Disney? Bob Iger or whatever? He's like, no, I paid. I'm losing money left and right. I'm not replacing this bitch.
Nobody wants any of this.
I'm trying to be profitable. I haven't had a hit in decades.
We still need to make the AI raccoon as her friend.
Fucking Toy Story. Can we just do Toy Story 5?
Yeah.
Is Tom Hanks on board? Was he fucking? Has he been replaced by the QAnon? Is he still in QAnon jail? Get Tom Hanks out of QAnon jail so he can make Toy Story 5. I don't know. I don't know what to tell Rachel Zegler. Maybe it's time for you to do an indie movie. Just let it breathe, you know?
Yeah.
There's been no positive PR for Rachel Zegler.
Play a drug addict and something.
I don't think it's the way to win these people over.
Yeah.
Just be a drug. You get on the cast of Euphoria.
Yeah.
Replace Zendaya. Are they still doing that thing? Is that show still going on? I've never seen it.
I'm not sure.
It's about young sex. Surprised it's popular because it's about young people whoring each other and drugs and sex, right?
Yeah.
Surprised that's popular in America.
Zegler apologized for this. She believes everyone has the right to her opinion, even when it differs from my own.
Shut up.
Yeah.
We're moving on from Zegler.
Backtracker.
This is nothing. I mean, we hate the rats. We also can't. We don't like you. But if she wants to come on the show, I guess.
You backpedaling bitch.
Hey Zegler, come on the Kump podcast, or you're nothing. Or castrate yourself and become the first lady. You think if Rachel Zegler was down, Trump would make her the first lady, like he divorced Melania? I'm just saying, Melania, like she's an older woman. I mean, objectively, I think Trump, is still in love. You think? Whatever. I'm not trying to desecrate their marriage. Just saying, but he tends to trade models in, no pun intended.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, he's got no problem with
maybe
that.
Maybe that's how she castrates herself and becomes the first lady, and we've solved the problem.
Oh, you think first ladies should have to do it too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you think you're gonna be married to me as a HUD secretary and you're gonna have fun? You're gonna be the belle of the sexual ball?
Even the wife of the HUD secretary has to do it?
Yes.
First lady, maybe, but
I don't understand. What are you gonna do with your non-castrated stuff if I'm castrated?
That's true.
You go, Paul Newman's been dead. Who you got? Timothy Chalamet? No. Anyway, The Rock. We'll move on. Oh wait, should we talk about this? This protest. This is an interesting story. We'll end on this. So these are the Maori people in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Have why don't you describe this? You brought this to me.
So they have basically a war dance /
Haka
called a Haka.
Yeah.
And New Zealand was voting on this bill that was basically like an equal rights kind of thing.
Yeah.
It seems similar to the United States, where basically like the right was saying this is special privileges for the Maori, and then more liberals were saying it's equal. It's writing equal rights into the law.
Sure.
So I think the bill failed, or they struck the bill down.
Yeah. And
they basically had this pretty wild protest.
Yeah, let's just take a look
in Parliament.
Because you described that perfectly, but I feel like it's we just gotta see the protest.
E ono ngā pōti e whakahe.
You gotta love her face.
This is very interesting.
Yeah. It's just how depressed people look. The people who aren't doing it just look so sad.
Because everyone would love to be just having fun, doing the day. I mean, do they? I don't think. Look, here's my only critique is that if you're gonna have that face, that angry face, you really got knock a few people's teeth out and feed them shit.
Yeah.
We need to fuse this with our idea of castration. This should be how you get castrated. In Congress.
Yeah.
All right, bring out the castration team. Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't think he would be part of it. But he's part. Is he trying to get his way? Like, is he part of them, or is he just trying to worm his way in? That's what I would do. If they started doing the Haka, I'd be like, yeah, Haka.
He might be trying to worm his way in after the
Good
fact.
for him. Tim Waltz over here.
Oh yeah.
I think they make up 20% of the parliament.
This is a funny question. I wonder how many people doing the dance are Johnny Come Lately.
Right, I'd be like, Haka! I would just be screaming, Haka! It seems
it's suspended.
Yeah, it seems it lost steam quickly.
I guess it's a treaty, yeah.
There's a treaty, yeah. Who knows? Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's a treaty trying to do stuff. I'm not here to critique New Zealand rules, New Zealand laws. Good for them though. Good.
Yeah.
I want to bring that idea over to America with a few adjustments. Like you're holding a hammer, perhaps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is like if you did something bad, if you ratted on somebody, if you misappropriated funds, then we do a little Haka. We give you a Haka, and the Haka's a hammer. and you can get like fake teeth later.
Right.
We're not saying forever. You have this is 2024.
The teeth again.
There's ways to have teeth even after they get knocked out. I mean, you might have make sure you don't get an infection.
Yeah. Some people actually prefer the veneers.
Well, you probably need implants. 'Cause veneers go on top of something.
Yeah.
But yeah, but just make sure you don't get an infection in your gums because that could be very likely. 'Cause you know why. But yeah, I mean, good for the Haka. Good for Rachel Zegler. Maybe she should go over to New Zealand for a while and like just kind of build up some street cred again.
Oh, totally.
She's just you get stuck in a bad news cycle. But not me, because I make
she could
things
kind of
happen.
play the Haka. It might be cultural appropriation. I don't know, but if she could play the Haka,
Yeah,
woman.
she should actually just she should be the one that comes out against this whole. There should be no more as cultural appropriation. It doesn't do anyone any good.
Yeah.
No one's happier.
No.
I think everyone's doing net worse.
Yeah.
By focusing on this stuff. We're in the land of the the Wichita Indians, and are they getting rich? Are they getting Rachel Zegler tickets? I don't think so. Let's focus on what's important. Digital castration.
Hell yeah.
So, anything else to add?
Start putting pressure on your local representatives about this.
Pressure, like what kind of?
They should be posting to their when somebody announces a run for comptroller, for governor, for anything.
Oh, I think after you like make the cut, puts pressure. After you cut off, after you make the incision, apply pressure.
They should be posting to their Instagram a picture of them with their balls and or pussy in a jar.
Yeah, look again,
smiling and saying, "I'm running for Congress."
I want to make it very clear. There's a lot of ways to castrate yourself, so let's not be myopic about it. But yeah, balls in jars and whatnot would be a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
So, that'd be a great Instagram trend.
Oh, for sure.
What would the hashtag be before? Is there a hashtag like hashtag? Hashtag trade sell hashtag I got my hashtag I'm the president now. I don't know. We're not hashtaggers. This is why the show just cut it off. just cut it. We don't have all the answers, all right? If we did, we wouldn't be here.
Hashtag just cut it off.
Yes! Thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
We'll see you all next week. Remember, if you can't wait till next week and you got to get an extra episode in, well, that's the perfect place to, go to the Patreon, patreon.com/ratekump. Extra episode every week if you sign up for that. And with that, either way, we'll see you very soon. And thank you for tuning in. Goodbye.